Hello guys, this is Mr. Umi 1974 and welcome to FortressCraft Evolved, episode 4. Today we're going to get started on setting up our mining and improving our smelting. The first thing we are going to do is grab this guy right here, which is an induction module, or forced induction module I should say, for the smelter. And what this is going to allow us to do is basically... Whoops. And I'm playing with my wonderful hopper again, which I so love to do. We're going to take and basically throw some materials in here. See, I've been collecting stuff in preparation for this episode, and let's see, we're gonna throw some copper in here and into this one and this one and throw that in there, and basically hopefully we'll get a bunch of bars over here shortly. Empty that out so they have room. So basically what we're gonna do is put a bunch of hoppers down for our ore extractors and get some hoppers up here so we can set up a conveyor system. I have two types of conveyor belts in my inventory right now, some high speed and low speed, and the idea behind that is we want to basically take these high speed conveyors, put them into the conveyor here, like so. Get these set up. I think that's enough right there. And then we're going to take some of these low speeds and grab these, throw them probably like every 2 blocks apart. And this way we can kind of feed 2 kinds of ore into the smelter at a time, and then what we're going to do is bring up the ore from the extractors down below. But now that I'm thinking of it, I haven't done this in a while. One thing that you definitely want to do is make sure you go around and check... Whoops, wrong button. Check your existing ore veins to see how they're doing. And whoa, I only have a total of 3 coal left in this vein, which means I need to find another coal vein. And, well, I got one right there. I'm actually going to try... and see if I can access that from like level 8. It would be awesome if I could, because eventually and I was there and now I'm not. Awesome. If I could set up, and I, woo, too far, set up a line, so this is actually, should be out to here. Set up an ore extraction line to that, that's underground, so it doesn't go through my defensive wall. While it may not be possible, I thought it was like right here. Ping. Oh, ping. I want ping. No. Well, it is kind of possible, but I think it's mostly above the surface. Where did it go? I've got some down below, and while I'm down there, I think I'll set it up. At the moment, I'm more worried about getting some power here because I'm just about out. I have set up power to all of my ore extractors between the last 2 episodes, and we're going to basically start up. Not to worry about the coal. I need to do some planning and figure out which one I want to go for. I know I got a few down here, and I'll probably just harvest that one that's upstairs by myself. So this is what I'm gonna do. Ooh. More coal. Also, I stuck these wonderful hoppers down here to allow me to gather larger quantities of ore. So we're going to take number 1 here, throw this down, give it a rotation so it's pointed away from the... Oops, wrong way. Throw it on the wall here. Give it a rotation. If you can't see the direction the conveyor is going on the side, there's these wonderful little green arrows that kind of in the graphic that kind of show the direction it's going. And then I'm just gonna throw this on here like this and rotate it around, and it likes to put the direction to the location that you're kind of facing. So we're just gonna run this like so. And what I'm going to do is basically run 1 conveyor for each ore type. Rotate this here, and whoops, place it and keep going. And eventually we'll work our way up to the top. Now, just so you guys know, you can get relatively creative with this. I mean, I could switch this so it's moving ore, and as you can see, it's coming down the line, so it's moving it on its side, and then rotating it back. I need to go at this. Whoops, facing the wrong direction, actually. And then I'm going to take and put a couple blocks there. You guys will understand in a second here. I actually, in order to place this row going up, I actually have to be able to click on something in order to do that. Eventually, there is a builder that will allow you to kind of, whoops, do that for you. And this is the way that I found that's easiest to do early game conveyors up the wall. Is basically stand here like this, put your mouse cursor at the very top of the square, and then just click like crazy. And as long as you're at the top of that square that you highlighted, everything should be all right. Throw 1 there and rotate this around. That way that bottom conveyor can feed to this. Conveyors don't necessarily have to be connected in order to feed. It's more along in the corners. When you're doing a 90-degree angle, they won't necessarily connect, and you don't need those wonderful slopes either in order to connect them. All that you have to do is make sure you get them placed in the correct order. So, and what we are going to do here is basically looks like we're going to run it to that hopper and get a move on. Boom, 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 boom. And then eventually all that wonderful ore will end up in this hopper. And like I said, I did this section this way so I can feed 2 ores into the smelter at a time and have them smelt. Let's see, where are we going next? I think I'm going to take a little break and finish up the iron conveyor, or the iron conveyor and the tin conveyor. I do not want to put, and here comes our ore, I do not want to put a conveyor down to the lithium yet. I don't have the necessary tech to handle the consequences if I do. And I don't quite want to tell you what those consequences are at this moment. So just be warned, you get below a certain level, bad things can happen to your conveyors. Be back in a second. Hello guys, I'm back, and I started laying the conveyor for the tin line, and I figured you guys would want to see this. This currently is my copper line, okay? What you can do, and what I am going to do, is I'm going to, whoops, need to rotate that. You can literally, and I'll need to place a block here, throw conveyors on top of conveyors like such. And as long as you face them the proper direction, which I'm not, you can run them two conveyors on top of each other, and they won't like interfere with the other conveyor. I ran this like this because I'm sure that at some point in time there will be a copper mine over there that I will be able, that I will want to get to, possibly. And as long as you got 2 blocks above the conveyor, you can stand on it. And basically coming in here, oops, I'm going to put this one in first, then this one, and then rotate that so it looks that way. But you can even do something like this, put them on the ceiling. So you have a lot of versatility with how to place the conveyors. So yeah, just another vertical run, and I guess I'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, I just noticed that my copper vein might be running a little low. If you see a sudden slowdown or a non-steady amount of ore, like how it's spurting here, that is an indication that your vein may be getting low. I have seen this in the past in a previous play, and as you see, we're going back here and you can actually see it's spurting. So I'm going to come over here and take a look at and see how much ore we actually have left in this. And volume of ore, ooh, that's actually kind of weird. I was expecting something else. What is going on? Drill's fine. That's a little bizarre. That's usually an indication that ore is going down. Let's scan that again. Volume total, it's still got 765,000 ore left. That's a little bizarre. Maybe it's a power transmission issue. I don't quite know. I'm just going to queue storage hoppers empty, and we'll, because usually they don't have a problem keeping up, because if we look over at our tin here, the thing's full. I mean, not a thing. And we have 400, so even less, if I remember correctly. So just a heads up, they do slow down over time. And it looks like my power's good, so I don't exactly know what's going on here. I will have to take a look at it and try to figure it out. But in the meantime, I'm going back to setting up my other conveyors. So be back in a bit. Okay, guys, this is an example of how I was saying conveyors may not connect, but will still transport items. I said that typically happens in the corners. This is a perfect example of that. And if I had placed it the other way, like this, it won't feed to the top one. So you kind of got to be always placing it so it's like the end of the conveyor is pointed at the actual top of a conveyor, or at the side of the conveyor. Like this one's not pointed at any conveyor. So if I was to take this and flip it, now this one's pointed at that one. So that kind of is a perfect example of what I was trying to explain before. Okay, I'm going back to finishing this conveyor up off camera. Okay guys, I'm back, and my irons finally made it up to the smelting area, and as you can see, by using the combination of slow and fast conveyors, it allows us to stagger the materials. And what you're going to see here is whatever the last item that was put into the hopper is what's going to display for the text. So it's like iron ore was the last one, then it was tin, iron, tin, tin, and same thing over here. When it gets enough to put the bars in, we can watch this for a little bit. It's like, okay, it has its 4 tin to make the 4 tin bars, and puts the iron in, and it will slowly alternate back and forth. The next one will be tin. I'm going to make the assumption, oh, maybe it's iron. But it does rotate back and forth based on what's in the hopper. So now it's tin. It probably just didn't have enough tin in order to smelt. And then throw these items into here. As of yet, I don't have technology that will allow me to sort the ballers out into their own hoppers. And if you look at our wonderful hollow mode, you notice that the one line is red. That means it's backstuffed. And you can literally look at all your hoppers if you press that K button, and all your conveyors, and see it. And you also have the U, which is going to toggle the map. And I'm not really too good with moving around in it, but that's kind of like where you are. And then if you hit the up and down arrow keys, you can kind of move. So I can actually kind of look at all of my conveyor lines and see what's going on. Like, I have 3 hoppers here that are empty and one that's full. I have an ore extractor. It's flashing right up here, which is my old coal ore extractor, which is flashing red, means that there's trouble. I know what's wrong with that one. It ran out of coal. And then if you come down here and you can look at the other ones, the light green lines are my power circuits. And as you can see, this one here was starting to set up for my new coal vein that I was getting ready to pipe up this direction, which I will be doing shortly. Off camera, of course, so I'll be back maybe in a little bit. Yeah, probably in a little bit, so to show you what I did with that. Bye for now. Okay guys, I'm back, and I've got the actual coal extractor, or the ore extractor set up and the hopper set up, and I'm starting to lay the conveyor for this. Early on, probably don't need to worry about high-speed conveyors on most of your ore lines, and even later in game for the coal lines, you really don't have to worry about having the high-speed conveyors at all, just because they're coal is such a slow used resource. So a lot of times what I do is I take the coal, transfer it to the, I should say not the coal, but take the belts from the ore, normal ore, once I get my furnaces upgraded or my smelters upgraded, whatever you want to call them. They're technically smelters, but once you get those upgraded, your standard belts aren't going to keep up. And I like to basically dedicate one smelter to each ore type. But I don't do this until I have the ability to get the second tier smelter. I don't feel the first tier smelter is really worth the effort. That's the reason why I went to the system where I'm mixing ores on the belt. That should get you enough to get to where you need to be at any point, at the point in the game where we are now. Oops. And let's see, I want to bring this one in here. Throw this one there and that there. Just this round. But one thing I did notice while I was setting this up, that, and you can see this power supply, this is not hooked to anything, and it's not even fully charged, which means with the 4 ores, or the 5 ore extractors that I have set up, I am really pushing the limits of the central power hub. If I was to take power from this, I've got a feeling you would not see it charge very fast. Unfortunately, I'm not low on power at the moment. So I'm going to basically rotate this around and try to get some coal up to the extractor. Everything looks like it's going in the right direction here. Whoops. And that one can go like this. And for right now, actually, what I'm going to do is rotate this like so. Run this belt. Over to the CPH. Like this. See, I was dangerously low. I have 2 coal left before I am out. So just so you guys are aware, keep an eye on that. And I'm not having too much of a problem. And that might actually be explaining why I'm getting these ore slowdowns, is because I'm just drawing way too much power out of the CPH. Or if it's not the CPH, it may be just that I'm really maxing my power transmission rate over these transmitters because they are fairly low. But it's saying 1.3 power per second, and I think they're good for 10 if I look at the thing here. Battery doesn't say. Let's bring up the help real quick. Max packet power size 10, maximum packet rate 1 per second, max 10 per second. So it's the most it's going to do is 10 power per second, if I understand that correctly. So, and it doesn't look like I'm maxing this out. Hit E. Doesn't have a lens. Average transfer, maximum transfer per second 10, Average transfer 1.4. We'll go down real quick and take a look at the other ones. I actually want probably go down to the very bottom here, grab some. This is, of all places, where I'm going to have probably the issue is at my lithium. Because I got a feeling it's yellow on low storage. That's cleared. It's going to grab some power. And not seeing any real transfer of power here. Probably because this has to spin up, and this is probably full, so that might be why. Yeah. But just keep that in mind. You can easily outgrow your power systems, so keep an eye on them. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you liked the episode. Take care, and give it a like, leave some feedback, subscribe. Hope you guys have a good day. Take care.